When you're thinking about change and you're going through ways to improve or to accept or to even begin to identify or illuminate parts of the change that are useful, beneficial, that align with your hopes. They could be workplace hopes, personal hopes, whatever they are. Typically, I specialize in the workplace pieces and working with individuals inside organizations and teams to recognize two major things. Number one, change is continuous. If you're thinking about a time when things weren't changing, you're either having a memory of a static part, which is just like a Polaroid or a flashlight of a memory, or you're mistaken. When we're going through change, you want to keep identifying what about that change is useful, what differences or indicators will I notice, and how will I see things? And the third part is, what choice do I have in this change? With the idea of choice, I developed a couple of years ago these solution-focused solved cards. And recently, I was working with a gentleman. His name is Brandon. Brandon was matched with me through an organization to do some leadership coaching. I sat with Brandon. We talked for a while. And through our discussion, Brandon turned to me and he said, "Mike, I'm not even sure I want to work here anymore. Or what are my career choices inside this organization?" And so we worked through a solved cards solution-focused coaching process. And I asked him situation cards, observations, levels, validation of his skill sets and development, exceptions, times when he's noticing he feels more secure and more certain about the choices he is making. And at the end, I let Brandon choose a card. So I laid the cards down, face down, and I said, "Okay, Brandon, pick a card." And interestingly, he chose this card. Now, this card is one of the more interesting and kind of confusing cards, mainly because it relies heavily upon your choice in the environment, and it allows some randomness or some complexity into your day. So the card says, you've gone through what your hopes are, what you want to achieve, what the levels are, what things look like, what better is for you, what the change will be useful for. And the card says, flip a coin. Heads, you agree to share and commit to making one change by the end of the day. Tails, you agree to do nothing different. Brandon and I sat there for a while. He looked at me and he goes, "So I don't have to do anything?" I go, "Doesn't matter. It's up to you. You choose what you want to do." And he chose to say, "Okay, Mike, I'm going to flip a coin every morning, tomorrow morning. And in the morning, I'm going to pick one thing to change. If it's on heads, on tails, I'll do nothing different." I met Brandon the following week. We met up. And my first question to Brandon was, "What's better?" And he looked at me and he said, "What's better?" And what Brandon identified were four things he did that were changes based upon the following week. So he picked small things like reach out to my manager and have a discussion with him about career opportunities. Number two, identify people in the organization who I admire or who have moved fast in the company, invite them to lunch and ask them what they did. Number three, begin searching out organizations that may be useful and effective. Find LinkedIn connections that are at those companies and talk to those people. Number four, commit to every day flipping the coin. Heads, try something different. Tails, stay the same. As Brandon went through that choice and shared those ideas with me, suddenly he shared with me that for the first time in 4 years, he's been hopes of what he wants to do. And because now he had a small thing to do, a small, teeny, I don't want to say task, a choice to make every day, a decision, something that was slightly random, that was not forced upon him, and yet he had control over, was able to get better understanding around his life and his career choices. So what is the message here? The message is this: when you're working with change, or you're feeling stuck, or you're feeling unstable, or you're in a complex environment, take a deep breath, understand where you are, identify what's currently happening, what you want to have happen, and what some indicators of success will look like when those things are happening. Introduce some randomness into your day. Flip a coin. Heads, you choose to do something different. Tails, you choose to do the same thing you normally do every day. As you're introducing randomness, take notes. Write down or just talk to yourself and say, what's different about today? What happened that I want to amplify or do more of? And what happened that I want to dampen or do less of? Thank you. My name is Mike Cardus from Organization Development by Mike Cardus, and together we make progress.